Hey guys, how you doing today? It's Barb with Halfway to Sane, where it's true crime all the time. So, I am going to do a follow-up on Kristin Smart on the trial that's going on. Trial ended it didn't end, but end of last week's trial ended with archaeologist testimony. So I guess that's what was going on all week. They were talking about the body with the soil and decomposition, all that. So an archaeologist testimony about soil disturbances and signs of possible burial on the property of one of the men accused in Kristin Smart's disappearance brought a California juror to tears as the expert described decomposition stains and other unusual findings, according to the reports. Cindy Arrington took the stand last Thursday morning and spent the duration of the day's trial proceedings testifying about her findings from the property belonging to Ruben Flores, who is accused of helping his son Paul Flores bury the remains of longtime missing college student Kristin Smart. Now, if you've been following me or anyone else, you would know Kristin was the 19-year-old college student at California Polytechnic State University in 1996 when she vanished after an off-campus party. Investigators have said more than 26 years later, Paul Flores, the man who was last seen with Kristin, and his father are standing trial on charges related to her presumed death. Paul Flores, who's now 45 years old, has been charged with Kristin's murder, and Ruben Flores, his 81-year-old father, was charged with acting as an accessory after the fact for allegedly helping his son hide her body. Prosecutors allege Ruben Flores helped his son bury Kristin's body under the deck of his Aurora Grande home, and then later removed and relocated her remains when law enforcement returned decades later. So they're saying that she was buried underneath the deck, but then they dug her up and put her somewhere else. As part of their efforts, law enforcement enlisted the help of archaeologists to examine soil. Archaeologist Cindy Arrington has been involved in hundreds of excavations in her career. She stated first that they take a look at the surface to see if there are any signs of disturbance. So before they even dig, they're looking at the soil on the ground. Then we start removing the soil very slowly. One of the first things that will appear in a burial is a stain. Liquids spread out and leave a stain around the remains. We go slower once we see that we take all the dirt around it and leave the skeleton intact, so you can see exactly how it was buried. She described how most bodies that are not stored in a coffin are buried in the fetal position, in which case the stain takes an oval shape around the body. The stained soil takes on a different color than the surrounding soil, and it is a very distinct color change. It's very sharp. She also stated that once the excavation started, she began to see some staining inconsistent with the surrounding walls of the hole. She later described how the soil image was consistent with the hole being redug and then something taken out. The podcast reporter described how one of the jurors on the panel for Paul Flores' case began to loudly and uncontrollably sob before the judge called for a lunch break. 3 other jurors were seen wiping their tears. Arlington later said that she did not find any human or animal bones, but surmised that the body was encapsulated in something such as a coffin, a tarp, or a bag. Asked why she would have seen staining in the soil if the body had been wrapped in something, she said the remains could have been placed in a semi-permeable material, or there could have been a small tear or puncture wound in the wrapping. She also stated she did not find a body or any human remains. If a body was buried there, it would create quite a substantial odor for the people living there. Paul Flores is asked. Arrington responded, "Substantial odor is subjective. If it was buried shallowly and wrapped in anything, then yes, there would be an odor." Now, when Flores' attorney asked if there were lots of explanations for what would cause such soil stains. She stated one could be decomposing body and the other one would be diesel fuel. And why would he have buried diesel fuel in one little spot? But she said diesel fuel has a strong, exacting odor and distinct color. And she stated she cannot always tell the difference between stains from human or animal decomposition. You would have to have a chemical analysis done by a lab. So that's how everything ended on Friday, which was the 3rd, or the 2nd rather. That's where everything was left. And I guess we still have at least another month or so of trial proceedings. So I will keep you guys up to date. So talk to you later.